Unit 4. Exercises. Number 1. Most people don't equate silence with appreciation. People whose work is always good still need to hear it from you occasionally. Let them know you've noticed they are meeting their goals. Acknowledgement and appreciation create a supportive work environment and keep motivation alive. Make your appreciation specific and positive by noting what was done well and why it matters. This makes people feel good, and it also ensures that the behavior you identify is repeated. So don't just say, "That was great." Say, "That was great because." Both teams and individuals need positive, specific information about their accomplishments. Use your imagination. Post graphs showing what the team has achieved. Mark the achievement of major milestones or goals by bringing it sandwiches for lunch for everyone to share or putting up balloons. Send thank you notes. When you ignore success, people think it doesn't matter and stop trying. Number 2. The quality of news is difficult to measure because there are no agreed-upon standards that satisfy everyone's definition of high quality. The term quality generally refers to any attribute, service, or performance that is highly valued within a group or a community. Defining quality is thus context-dependent, field-specific, and subject to individual preferences and tastes. It is important to note, however, that compared to other cultural products such as music and paintings, journalistic content is unique because it has a strong civic and democratic component. The idea of the press as the fourth estate stems from the expectation that high-quality journalism promotes democratic ideals by playing the role of a watchdog, providing a public forum, and serving as a reliable information provider. Therefore, when discussing news quality, normative aspects cannot be overemphasized. Number 3. One thing that managers have to keep in mind is that they should mend fences after any fight. Opponents are not necessarily enemies. An opponent disagrees with you on the issue, of course. But enemies are ones with whom you also have a negative relationship. That makes it personal. You can often work with opponents and strategize toward mutually successful outcomes. But enemies are far more difficult and consequently far more dangerous. Try to keep opponents from becoming enemies and work to turn enemies into mere opponents. Find points of agreement and find ways you can legitimately support those who were your opponents. The subject of the fight will eventually recede, but you still need the relationships. Number 4. Political decisions and management decisions about how much of any given species can be harvested are often based on the amount of money there is to be made. Profit leads to economic growth, which is the goal of many politicians and business leaders. But the problem with seeking continuous economic growth is that our economy is not separate from the environment. Everything in our economy comes from our environment. We extract resources from the world around us, consume them as products we eat or use, and then dump the waste back into the earth. Our earth is a finite ecosystem, which means there is only so much that we can take from the natural world to feed our economy, and only so much waste that the earth can absorb, before natural processes stop functioning properly. The constant effort to extract more and more resources is actually an ecological impossibility over the long term. Our survival depends on learning to live within the limits of ecosystems.